When we hear the word manipulation, we often picture some kind of evil genius, right? But what if it's not that complicated? What if it's really just a set of predictable tactics, almost like a playbook? Well, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to open up that playbook and take a look inside. Have you ever felt like that? I mean, really felt it. That gut-wrenching, exhausting feeling of walking on eggshells. You spend all your time second-guessing yourself, replaying every single conversation, just trying to figure out, what did I do wrong this time? It's so disorienting. And you know what? It's a lot more common than you might think. And that's why we need to get this straight, right from the start. If you feel lost in a situation like that, it is probably not your fault. In fact, that confusion, that feeling of being totally lost, that's often the goal. It's the intended result of these strategies. It's a playbook, like I said. And trust me, once you see the plays, the entire game starts to look different. All right, so let's do it. Let's pull back that curtain and look at some of the key tactics in this playbook. Just recognizing these patterns, well, that's the most powerful first step you can possibly take to get your sense of reality back. Okay, first up is a really big one. It's called intermittent reinforcement. You've probably felt this before. It's that classic hot and cold behavior. One day they're showering you with praise, affection, making you feel like the most important person in the world. And then, poof. The next day they're distant, cold, maybe even critical, and you have absolutely no idea why. And this is the twisted genius of it, psychologically speaking. Because that affection is so darn unpredictable, you get kind of obsessed with trying to get it back. That possibility of getting the reward, that hope, it actually becomes way more addictive than the affection itself ever was. So why does it work so well? Well, it literally taps into the same reward system in your brain as a slot machine. Seriously, you're just standing there, pulling the lever over and over again. You keep putting in coins, enduring all the losses because you're totally hooked on the chance of that next big payout. The whole relationship turns into a gamble for affection, and it is incredibly powerful at keeping you stuck. Okay, next up, let's talk about future faking. This one can feel so magical at first. It's when someone paints these amazing, detailed pictures of your future together. We're going to take that trip to Italy, we're going to move in together, we'll start that business, all these beautiful promises. But here's the catch. It's all designed to get them what they want from you right now. Yeah, that's the key right there. Those promises, they aren't plans. They're just tools. They're designed to keep you emotionally invested, to keep you hoping, and maybe most importantly, to make you put up with really bad behavior in the present, all for some imaginary payoff that's always just around the corner. And this is so powerful because our brains just eat it up. We hear these beautiful stories and we start to believe them. We begin to make real-life sacrifices for a future that only exists in words. You might pass on a great job opportunity or stick around in a terrible situation, all because you're banking on a someday that frankly was never going to happen. And then there's this one, moving the goalposts. You know this feeling. You work so hard to finally do the one thing they said would fix everything. You do it, you achieve it, and then you find out, nope, that wasn't it. Actually, there's a new rule, a new standard you didn't even know existed, and guess what? You've already failed it. And you can see how different this is from a healthy situation, right? In a healthy dynamic, expectations are clear, and the goal is for everyone to succeed together. But here, the target is designed to be unreachable. The whole point isn't for you to win. The point is to make sure you're always trying and always failing. And you can imagine what this does to your self-esteem over time. It's just devastating. When absolutely nothing you do is ever good enough, you start to internalize that. You believe it's you. You stop trusting your own competence, your own judgment, and you start to think, I must be the problem here. All right, now for one that is so frustratingly subtle, weaponized incompetence. This is basically a strategic performance of being totally useless. They'll agree to do something, sure, but then they do it so badly that it's just easier for you to sigh, give up, and do it yourself. And make no mistake, this is a training program. They are actively training you to stop asking. They teach you to lower your expectations so much that you just take on all the work yourself, because it's less exhausting than dealing with their fake helplessness. And for them, that's a huge win. Mission accomplished. And here's the dead giveaway. It's selective. Isn't it funny how they suddenly become perfectly competent and capable when it's something they want or that benefits them? That incompetence is just a switch they flip on and off to get out of doing things that would help you. Okay, our last tactic for today is maybe one of the most dizzying, mind-bending ones of all: victim reversal. Here's the scene. You try to bring up something they did that genuinely hurt your feelings. And somehow, by the end of that conversation, they are the one who's been wronged. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? The conversation that started with your pain ends with you comforting them. You literally walk away from the conversation apologizing to the very person who hurt you in the first place. It's completely backwards. And what's so insidious about this one is that it works by weaponizing one of your best qualities, your empathy. Your natural instinct to care for someone who seems distressed is used against you. It becomes a get-out-of-jail-free card for them, a way to dodge all accountability. And in the process, your legitimate pain just gets completely erased. So, okay, we've looked at all these different plays from the playbook, right? The hot and cold stuff, the fake promises, the impossible standards. They all seem different, but they're not. They all have one single unifying goal. So what's the point of it all? What's the end game? It's one word: control. That's it. Every single one of these tactics at its core is about gaining and maintaining power. Power over your feelings, power over your choices, and ultimately power over your perception of reality. The whole goal is to keep you confused and off balance because that's how they stay in charge. So now that we know this, what do we do? Look, understanding this playbook isn't really about preparing for a fight or winning some kind of argument. It's about something way more important, way more fundamental than that. It's about taking back your own reality. And I want to be really clear about this. The point here is not to go around diagnosing everyone you know. The point is to arm you with the knowledge to validate your own feelings. It's so when that little voice inside you says, hey, something feels really wrong here, you have the tools to listen to it. This is about giving yourself permission to trust your own gut. So I'll just leave you with this thought. Now that you can see the playbook, now that you recognize the patterns, this isn't just some interesting psychological trivia. It's a map. It's a map that can lead you back to trusting yourself. So the real question is, how are you going to use that map to start trusting your own story?